Okay, let's do these questions we got today. So we had to find the area of the purple triangle. Okay, we don't actually need that. So we have to find the area of the purple triangle. So the information we're given is this up here is 400 meters squared, the area, and the height is 16 meters. So to get the area of the triangle, we need the height. Remember, the formula is half the base times the height. Half the height, we need the base. Okay. Let's fill in what we know. So this is 400 meters squared in area, and it's a square signified by these lines. So the side length is going to be, so we could just put length if you want. So the length is obviously the square root of 400, right? Because it's a square. So that equals 20, because 20 times 20 is 400. So I'm just going to put it in. Anything new, I'll put it in pink. So that's 20 here, 20, 20, and obviously this is 20. Oh look, now we have, this is a right angle triangle, okay. Normally it'll be, you'll have a little square here. So the hypotenuse is 20 and that side is 16. So all we have to do is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So we know, call the small side a, 16 squared plus, well, we don't know what this is, so let's just call it b, plus b squared equals, c is the hypotenuse, so it's 20, 20 squared. So we know b squared, get all the numbers on the other side, equals 20 squared minus 16 squared. Go down. Whatever that is, 400 minus 256. Yeah, I'll just move this up. Here we go. Sugar. I'll just get it all in. I'll move that up. Right. There. Now, so that minus that is 144. You can do this on your calculator. So if b squared is 144, b equals square root 144, and that equals 12. So we know b equals 12, right? So to get the area of the triangle, what's the formula for the area of a triangle? Area. So I'll just put a little subscript, triangle. Area triangle equals half the base times the height, half BH. You can write that whatever way you want. So that equals a half times 12 times 16. Even though that looks smaller, remember these are not always to scale, okay? So just go with whatever you're told. The information, so even though that says 16, obviously it'll be longer, but just go by the information you're told. 16 times 12, and if you do that you'll get 96, and the units are meters squared. Done. That's your answer there. I'll highlight that, but that's it. So it's a step by step using stuff that we know from before. So I'll put that there, and that is that. Okay. Whatever. Done. We'll move on. So this was a similar one that I did with the girls. Very similar concept. Find the area of the triangle, we have the height. We have this information here. So if that's 3, the length must be 39 over 3, right? Because it's 3 times something equals 39. So that equals 13. So we know that the length is 13 meters. Well, if that's 13, then this is also 13, isn't it? So then, same thing. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So it's 5 squared plus, we'll just call this B again. 5 squared plus B squared equals 13 squared. So that means 5 squared equals 13 squared B squared minus B squared equals 13 squared minus 5 squared. Whatever that implies. So that implies B squared equals 169 minus 25, and that equals 144. So that implies B equals root 144. That equals 12 again. Same as before. That equals 12. So what do you think the area is going to be? It's going to be the exact same, right? It's going to be half the base times the height. Oh, it's not going to be the same. Excuse me. It's going to be different. Let's just have a look at it. I'm going to move this out of the way. Here. Alright. So let's actually have a look at that. So we're going to do area of triangle equals a half. It's the base times the height, so it's 12 times 5. Half of 12 is 6, 6 times 5 is 30, and it's meters squared. And that is it. That's it. So I'll just block that off. Now, that's that. So just stick with that and you'll be fine. Follow the process. And always use the information that you're given to do whatever you can with it. Okay? So if you don't know where to go, just use the information that's there and see can you do something with it, and gradually things will open up. Alright, that is that. Cool. There we go. We'll move on to the next one. Color pink. Alright, done. Here's the next one. Find the distance from A to B. So we have to find this distance, right? How on earth are you going to do that? You might see that and you're like, well, how can we get a number from that? Well, we did this in the class today with the boys, so we know, well, the top line and the bottom line are the same length. So we can say this. We can say 2x equals 3x minus 8. And then, so we just bring that over, so we get 0 equals, well, if you bring that over, it becomes negative 2x, right? So 3x minus 2x is x, and we have minus 8. And then bring the number over here, so we get 8 equals x. So that implies that. Okay, so x is 8. Suddenly everything opens up for us. So we know if x is 8, well, 2 times x is 16. That's 16. And we know that that height is 4 times 8, which is 32. So if you draw a little line here, from here to here, suddenly we have a right angle triangle. Whichever way you want to go, it doesn't matter. Well, if that's 16, this has to be 16 down here, doesn't it? 3 times 8 is 24, minus 8 is 16. Same as that anyway. So let's just get this. So we say a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So then we have 16 squared plus 32 squared. So 16 squared, there is a fast way of doing this. Anyway, 16 squared plus 32 squared equals c squared. That implies, well, 16 squared is 256. You do this on your calculator anyhow, but there's a fast way. 32 is double 16. So if you square it, it's going to be 4 times bigger, right? So 4 times 250 is 1,000, and 4 times 6 is 24. So it's just 1,024. But you can do it on your calculator, it doesn't matter. But the more that you see these things, the more obvious things become to you, and then you can focus on the difficult parts. But you can always do it with your calculator, but you know, you're not always gonna your calculator is not going to tell you. You can make mistakes on calculators. You can put the wrong information into calculators. If you know what you're doing, it's better than having a calculator. Anyway, that plus that, well, 56 plus 24 is 80, so you add them together and you get 280. I think I remember from class today, I don't have a calculator with me, but I think I remember from class today, somebody said that was 35 to 2 decimal places, let's say. 35.78. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I remember. I've no units here, so we've no units, so that's it. Equal to c, because c is obviously the square root. I'll put it in. Move that down. Boom. Okay, that implies square root of 280 equals c squared. Well, it makes sense because 40 squared is 1600, so it has to be less than 1600. And that is that. Alright. And then we're done. So just stick to all this. Is Pythagoras' theorem is new, and I know we've gone through it pretty fast, but tomorrow we'll just consolidate it. The fact that you're able to do these is quite good. I didn't think you'd be able to do these so fast, but yeah, that's it. Okay, coolio. I'll leave it at that.